Even if I didn't have the confidence, I would have to have it now. All right, well, you need a ticket to Dubai. My flight leaves in 10 minutes. So how do you get someone to come on board? Different marketing methods. We're going to launch this model tonight. It's very ready to go. Sorry, bro, I had to come and call you about this. All the is gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Progress With Us podcast, where today it is episode 18 and we are joined back by the man himself, Money Mace. Good to have you back, bro.
Mace, man, round two.
Innit? Been out in Dubai for how long were you out there for? 2 months?
Yeah, so I just did a little 2 month stint, but I've been out there most of the year, to be fair.
And the goal was rich and ripped at the end of it.
Rich and ripped. We're doing alright, and then since we've been back, like, the ripped has cut out of taking a little downfall, but rich most definitely. Yeah, a lot of people go there just post for the tax. And do you know what the second thing that people go there for? It's weather, bro.
Yeah.
The weather's fucking beautiful. And do you know what the third thing is? They're treated like a king everywhere you go. And that was the big difference that I saw coming back from Dubai to the UK, is the difference in how you're treated. Not only just by like public places. I go to a public place, like say I go to Dakota, like best like kind of hotel in Manchester. I had to take my bags to my room. And it sounds so Scottish. I sound like such a prick saying that. You know what? It's such a big thing that if you go to like even like some average Airbnb in Dubai, you're gonna get your bags taken to your room, like an extra level of service. People treat you with like a big smile on their face. Here they're pissed off at their job and they give you like, oh, another person. Oh yeah, what do you want?
Yeah.
And then it's like, even if like I'm trying to be super polite to you, you don't get reciprocated. So it's like, again, there's like a lot of caveats I think that sort of pushed me over there to be out there from the start of the year. And
what was kind of your time like over there? Because I know that you were pretty locked in. I know that a lot of people when they go to Dubai will go there and they'll enjoy themselves quite a bit, but you know, the majority of the time I've seen that you were just working on the balcony.
So the most part of what I did was like, but I've been there before. So like I went like last year, got a taste of it, went there like a few times last year. Early this year, so another funny story that we're probably going to jump into many of them is funny story for the pod as well, I was doing a podcast at 2 a.m. in my Manchester apartment with my good friend Luca. And like I said, it was 2 a.m. and I got a call from my friend who was in Dubai, so it was like 5 a.m. there. And he says, look bro, get the next flight to Dubai, I'll pay for your ticket, just come out and see me. And it was 2 a.m. here in Manchester, so I was like, alright, cool, yeah, whatever. We was drunk, we was fucking around, whatever. Doing a drunk podcast at 2 a.m, like just fucking around. The podcast is never getting released, whatever we recorded there. And I was like, alright, cool, I'll come. Sent me the money for the ticket, and I was like, fuck, now I've actually got to go. So literally I was on the 8 a.m. flight, got picked up by the V class, got it all sorted out, headed over to Dubai, and I was there for like a week, and I came back for the members event at the end of the week. So it was like, that was when I went there, and as soon as I landed at that time, that was January 8th, 9th, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And as soon as I landed there, I just said, yeah, I'm moving out here. Can't wait. Right? And then I was just waiting for the next time to move out there. The next time we went was my birthday, so like a month later, it was 20th February. We went out there for my birthday, and so this is another story which I'll touch on now. But
I remember saying, do you know, on the first podcast that we did, we asked you guys how long you see yourself staying in Manchester for, and Tom said, Dubai looks tasty.
Yeah.
And then like 2 months later, you were both out there.
Yeah. No, because it doesn't just look tasty. Like, bro, it looks like a full meal, G. Like, it's the place to be. Like,
how do you find the heat over summer though? Is it not? Is it so hot over summer?
Yeah. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But Tom's still out there.
Tom's
like,
cooking out there.
Yeah, so he's treating it like UK winter, where you stay inside, lock in.
Yeah.
He's treating it like that on the reverse kind of spectrum. So that's why I came back, because I thought my idea was, I've used all that sunshine out there, I'm going to come back here and anyway,
it's going to be all right.
The weather didn't pick up back here through summer.
Bro, we've had like no summer so far. Literally no summer. We've had like a couple of weekends where it's been warm, but you should have stayed in Dubai.
Not nice. Yeah, well I know that now. It's like another month or something. But second time went out there was February, my birthday. And this time it was obviously my birthday. We was doing a bunch of stuff. We were going to record a bunch of content for the lifestyle, whatever. Because we get up to a lot of shenanigans anyway, so we thought we might as well have a cameraman. Brought a cameraman out there. And then like from kickoff, we was just doing like, not fucked up shit, but like crazy stuff, like getting cars. We had like yachts, we had like girls come out and meet us. Like we was doing crazy things, like just taking it to the different level every single time. Because we had a cameraman, we're like, look, we're vlogging it. We've done a bunch of stuff before in the past and we never really take any videos and stuff. And like, I don't want to sit there behind recording everything, like it's a bit awkward. Or like if you're trying to live in the moment, that's my thing as well.
100%, bro.
Need somebody there.
Yeah, I don't make money to be a slave to the content as such. So it's like, when I'm like looking around, I don't want to be recording. If there's a third person party, you can do that and you can break away, do your stuff. So he's recorded everything. So like we did this huge Dubai trip, like I say, cars for my birthday, yachts, big expensive dinners, beach clubs. Like we was just flowing with it. Bit of works in between, like sorting a lot of stuff out. But a lot of stuff was automated this time. So we was just living life. And this was like kind of like blowout holiday from every like the big year we've been on. And then we come towards the end of it. One of our friends flew back, a couple of our friends. Me and Tom went then out to the Philippines. met up with the chat managers.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Bro,
Saw the
that-
photos.
That photo, I don't think I've
this
laughed
one.
harder at of the one of you boys like that, and it's like a big spender's worst nightmare.
Worst nightmare.
Yeah, we were
bro.
cracking
up
Bro,
about
you see into us, and your pockets are gone.
Whose
They're
idea
through
was
the
it to
floor.
go out and meet the chat?
Bro, it's been in the pipeline for ages.
Yeah.
It's been in the pipeline for absolutely until we got the chat managers, really, because they're the people we'd go out and meet, because obviously the chat's got to be online. We can't have everyone offline, but the chat managers themselves specifically, because they kind of prove themselves. So they've been our chatters for about like 6 months to a year. Like
Fair.
one of our, the funny thing is, our chat managers, the guy who we met, so you know the short guy who was I never knew what he looked like. I didn't know if he was a girl or a boy, because he's got a very high pitched voice for a Filipino, right? And never knew what he looked like when we went out there. It was the first time we ever meeting him or ever seeing a picture of him. We were asking other chatters to send us pictures of him, and because it's a band in Philippines, so it's anonymous, sorry, but like, so they can't be like told. So all of them have aliases.
Why?
Their real names
Why?
aren't what their names are on Telegram.
Why?
Because it's banned in the Philippines.
What's banned?
OnlyFans.
Ah.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't realise that, to be fair.
Ah. I see. I thought you meant like
So
Filipinos
that- yeah.
weren't allowed to like disclose their identity online.
No, nothing
Yeah,
like
I
that.
was thinking
So yeah, like super. So anyway, we go to meet them. It was the first time meeting them. But this guy's a fucking 20-year-old chat manager, like making very good wage for someone in the Philippines. Making like a good wage for someone in the fucking UK. Like, and then I'm like, bro. He's like telling me that I was investing in crypto and stuff like this. I'm like, he's changed his family life, so it's super good to see. And like I say, we caught up with all of them. And then this is when I'm going to get onto one of the big losses of this podcast, which is the whole storyline of. So obviously, I've had a cameraman out with me from the start of Dubai. I've fucked around the entire trip, not fucked around the entire, did a lot of work, but messed around the entire trip, blew a lot of cash, did a lot of fun things that people look up to and think's amazing. Cars, this, that, bouncing around, and then go to the Philippines, meet all the chat managers, and like, bro, I'm booking everything on a whim, like we're paying everything for business. So like, I don't even care about the expenditure, like it's all going through. Get to Philippines, I fly the cameraman home. And I'm onto the cameraman for the content for 2 weeks. Onto him for content. What happens next? Sorry, bro. I just get a call up like, sorry, bro, I had to come and call you about this. All the footage is gone. Bro.
Yo. But that's like our worst nightmare.
5 weeks worth of content. And not just funny content. I'm on like the yacht spitting game.
Bro, I was literally just about to say, I've not seen any of this content.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you're talking about it.
Yeah, you're not going to.
That's
So when I was
how
talking
did
to you
you
earlier, I
even-
didn't want to explain the story prior to where I was jumping on the podcast, but that was one of the big stories
that's
that we experienced.
fucked.
At the start of this year, like one of the big losses that we experienced. And it's like, that content, bro, like between me, Tom and Luca, like, we've probably been like 50, 60k on this fucking trip, and it was like a month. And it's like, cause us just spending, doing whatever, like we didn't care about it, it's getting recorded, like it's all going to come back to us.
Yeah.
And then we've got so much content that we're utilising the fact of having a camera, all gone. I've got this clip, I've got like a section of Philippines where I meet the chatters, I take them out cliff jumping, I take them out on a speedboat, and we've gone fucking jetting around all the islands, and we've recorded some like little James Bond scene. We've got our chat managers going up and speaking to all these birds and stuff like that. We've got some fucked up shit. Like this is the only clip we got. The rest of it's disappeared.
What happened to the
what
footage?
happened to it?
Something to do with the cameraman getting robbed or whatever. I don't really know, but I think the editing become long. And either way, charge it to the game. You know, you got to experience the. I think to get to every next stage in life. This is nothing that I've touched on before. Is to get to every next stage. That like when you want to get to 5 figures, you've got to experience a 4-figure loss. When you want to get to 6 figures, you've got to experience a 5-figure loss. And yeah, it fucking hurts, right? But if you want to get to 7 figures, you'll experience a 6-figure loss. And I think once you go through and experience that, then maybe you can get to 7 figures. But you know what? It's all due time.
Did everyone take it as stoically as you, or were Tom and Luca pissed?
Of course we're pissed. But like again, like you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's nothing about like I think if you're in business or if you're in like general life, you have to take it stoically to an extent.
Yeah, 100%.
The Daily Stoic, sick book. Grab that, because that'll teach you like maybe one lesson a day.
I've nearly finished it. I'm like, I've got like a month left.
Yeah,
Sunday of November.
I was running it end of last year as well. It's an amazing book because it's just like it's just one little lesson. You don't read 1 page a day.
Yeah.
Okay, even if you miss it, catch up next day. Who cares? But like, well, it's super sick in terms of like acting stoically because in business, bro, you experience problems, bro. You experience fucking problems like you wouldn't believe. Especially like there, like that's a big loss. It's not just like the monetary loss. It's the memory of both. My birthday vlog. I had like a sick birthday vlog.
Yeah.
I've experienced like. And I
The
didn't-
21st as well, isn't it?
22nd.
22nd.
Yeah, I'm a bit washed.
It's just stuff to look back on as well, isn't it? All that kind of thing.
Bro, that thing as well, because it's like, I don't, but now when I've got cameraman, I'm not taking videos myself.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've got someone there with me. So now I've got like half the memories even of myself. So bit unfortunate, but nonetheless I've got the memory back in my mind. So yeah, it was pretty good.
So I guess from when you've been on last with us to now, what are the kind of main things that have changed then?
What date did we go on?
So it was about...
It was the day I got back from... It was the day after I got back from Barcelona. I think it was the 1st of December.
Oh wow, 1st December to now. Bro, I guess like not too much has changed.
Definitely the coaching, I reckon.
Yeah,
I suppose in terms of the coaching, that's continued scaling. But in terms of like helping other people, like, bro, we've had people now go on to hit like 500k months. Bro, like the guy who like
you want a student who did better than
so he's lapped us, But in terms of like, bro, he has a unicorn model. Like it's not like because I can give away the strategy, I can give it to any model, right? And I implement now every day to every model, and it's the same strategies that we give away in the group. However, for a certain model, if that just goes viral and takes off, it's very different to just applying it to anyone.
Yeah.
He had a very unique situation. Like no one in the entire game can ever have that come to them. So he's just ran with it, and he's done very well. Again, credits to him. Like ran with it, a very young, hard-driven hustler. So each to their own. You deserve it. Same for everybody else in the group as well, because I've had a lot of people who come in, maybe they're early stages, scaling up as well. So from December to June now.
Yeah.
A lot of success stories.
Would you say the majority of people are not starting from scratch then, and they've kind of given it a go themselves and then just coming to you to optimize?
Half and half, to be fair, bro.
Yeah.
If in all honesty, because a lot of people they see it as a hustle, and do you know what it is as well? Maybe they join my Telegram first. That's the best place to get at me first, because again, like you're going to see like the raw nature of how to run an OFM, like some daily game that I get out, some of my personal traits. You guys have seen it before, and in there I kind of explain like what OFM is, some of the things that we get up to, some of the things that people in the group get up to, and that's how they get their first interest in the group or the course. Because again, why are you going to trust me, right?
Yeah.
Who am I? Just a 6-figure a month young agency owner in the OFM space. So like, why should anybody trust me over the next person? And again, it's just the results to back it. It's just the fact that like, bro, we've got 210, 15 members now, and everyone in there, like, probably like half of them making like 5 figures a month. Wow. And that's just from OFM. And then it's just like, on the back end of that, bro, you've got such an amazing network you got a part of. Bro, everyone in there is young, driven hustlers. Like, again, if you're in like a hometown of like, I don't know, small amount of people, or people who aren't driven, or people you can't connect with, then you join a network, okay, you maybe pay a little bit of money, right? Okay, what's the money if you believe that you're going to go ahead and make it in life? Because people can pay that amount, pay it in dollars, pay it in pounds, whatever it is. And from there, you've got access to the wide range network for the rest of your life. You've got to forget it's lifetime network. And that can open doors for you that money can't.
I think it's good what you guys do as well with the in real life meetups. Like there's a lot of groups that like I have been a part of / am a part of, where I think like we spoke about this on the pod with CCM, but you know the online stuff is only good to an extent. Like you want to be with people, you want to be around people, you want to know if there are people like near you. Something that Hamza implemented that like obviously he
I don't know too much about him. But
the school community guy. Like he's done, he's
super
doing
churning
140k MRR off his school, and he basically implemented this thing. It was like you basically say where you're from, and it puts everyone on a map near you, so all these people can then go and link up with each other. But like that's
something
a feature in
myself.
Yeah, that's something that you could implement. But
I guess for people then who are watching and they don't really know what the group is, how it works, if you just kind of explain it to a degree. Obviously, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people in the group watching the pod as well. But for anyone on the outside, kind of how does it work?
Right, so the full breakdown of the private group that we run is called OF Money. And essentially what it is, a private networking group plus course. Because when you join up, you get access to both. You get access to the private group first initially, which is a main group chat. Everyone in there is chopping game, talking different, traffic sources, sales game, problems that they encounter, and then members of the group can go and interact with that specific person. It will obviously give them the time back, the information back. Plus also as well, me and Tom, agency owners, plus also owners of the group, very active inside of there. And what we have away from there is breakaway rooms. And in the rooms there are different traffic sources. You've got Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, all different things that you can discuss specifically so you can find the people who you're trying to connect with on that level. Also, you've got access to then the private course, which is exactly the full breakdown, A to Z, of how to run an OnlyFans management agency. And a lot of people who come through the course, which is quite interesting, are just like, bro, like, this is insane. Because a lot of people have joined, other communities. And I'm not going to say names on this podcast, but certain people who have joined their community are like, to build a personal brand and outreach. Like, bro, no, like, it doesn't work like that. Me and Tom have literally been through from zero all the way up to multi-6-figure a month agency. So I know exactly what works. I've refined and iterated the process on how to build your agency from zero all the way up to multi 6 figures a month, right? And so from there, get the agency breakdown. So from how to onboard a model, or like how to outreach a model. First introduction, what even is OnlyFans management? A lot of people get into the game like, wow, new side hustle, I'm gonna make 100K a month. Bro, you don't even know what you're getting into. So first breaking down what it is you're into, then changing your mindset, because that's a big thing that not only if you're getting into OFM, but if you're getting into the entrepreneurial space, you need to have the correct mindset in order to get in with it. Because you've got to remember, it's a lot of losses early on, but you'll get some small wins. And so it's just like changing that mindset in order to calibrate with that away from the normal, kind of like 9-5 job is not the same. Breaking that down, going on to sign your model, every single outreach method you can use, plus then exactly what we're using to this day. You know, some fucking gems for the podcast as well. Like, bro, go ahead and get yourself some referrals. Find some people who are already in the space who can go ahead and get you models. Put some soldiers in the field from kickoff. Start leveraging other people before you even leverage your own personal time that you maybe have an abundance of, or maybe don't, right? Next, you go, like, how do you run fucking traffic to these models' accounts? How do you scale up these model accounts? How do you run sales on these model accounts? And then how do you go ahead and get more models and scale to these big agencies? How do you use VAs? How do you use employees? Everything's covered in the course. That's just the course itself, right? And I just covered everything because I know, because I've recorded it myself. So I can do everything. So like from there, like people get all the game there instantly. And then on top of that, bro, you've got the entire course. You've got me and my Tom you can access. You've probably got 250 members who all do OFM. People will put like wins and successes chat as well. If you see, done 150 subs today from Instagram. Someone can message you and be like, oh, hi bro, what did you do? And okay, maybe not now directionally, that person has value to offer. This is what you're saying about Telegram chats versus in real life. Maybe they can't offer value straight away, but if you're polite enough to that person, maybe they'll share some game with you. A lot of people in the group, I've experienced it before as well, they're like, yo, this person's demanding this off me, and it's like, right, although I've given you the platform, the network, or like the network to use, yeah, you've still got to come with an element of respect and politeness, which a lot of people are probably still learning to this day, young entrepreneurs getting into the field. But again, super valuable. Everyone who's coming, I messaged everyone in the group recently, maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago, and I just checked in with everyone to see how they're finding it and see some improvements, see what's going well, and a lot of times I have very good comments to say. And again, like, I could probably pull up now. I could probably go through my camera roll and I've just got like screenshots and screenshots.
I think there's two things that you've touched on there that I think is really interesting, especially in terms of like your group in the OFM space. First thing being that I feel like a lot of people who are all doing OFM they're all far more willing to help each other than people doing other business models. I don't know if that's something that you've noticed, but like when I think about the space that I'm in, which is kind of like copywriting and funnels and stuff, it feels like a lot of the people are gatekeeping a lot of the information. Whereas it seems in your industry that a lot of people are perhaps not giving away the newest thing that they're doing, if that's working insanely well for them. But something that I try and implement when other people ask me about copywriting is I will just tell them, like, give away the game of like everything that's worked for me, because I do think that that's the best thing to do. I know there's a lot of, you know, especially, and the second thing I was going to talk about is your product itself. Like when you have a thorough product, it speaks in the results. Like I have joined things where I have thought that was incredibly underwhelming and I kind of knew all of that already. And I've joined things. So for example, Cardinal Mason, shout out Mace, his course is insane. Like because he literally goes through from like the smallest details, like what you were saying is like, what even is OFM? Like that stuff has to be in there. You know, you have to give people that fundamental understanding. Like I have a client who's in the info space and I'm working on launching his offer at the moment. And I said to him, I'm not even going to write any emails until your product is absolutely shit hot.
Yeah, you can't sell a product that's shit. Like, 'cause the thing for me as well, when OF Money was just a group chat, I find it hard to make sales. Because I was trying to convince people to join my group and it wasn't amazing yet. When I implemented all the upgrades, I'd gone through everyone and spoke to them about iterations and how I can upgrade the group. Once I implemented them, I started being able to tell people, I've got the best products in the game. Because I did. Yeah. And I do, because like, bro, like I've looked at a lot of other people's stuff and people come to me, say, oh, I'm in XYZ's group. And they go, it's dog shit because of XYZ reason. This is what I'm looking for. And I'm like, bro, like, I've got the solution here. And they join and they're like, oh, like, I don't know why. Like, obviously I'm not as bait as a lot of these charlatan educators, these marketers online. That's their main business model, not the agency. Like, at the end of the day, I run a 6-figure month agency. It's always going to be my sole business model. It's always going to be my go-to. And I have to do that because how can I tell a group of 200 plus people, do this, do that, do this, when I don't even do it myself?
Yeah, 100%.
I have to do it myself and I have to have it implementable, like results based. So before I even had a group, I was doing 6 figures a month. And it was only after enough people was coming to me like, yo bro, like, can I get this information, can I get that information? I'm like, bro, I'm fucking busy, I'm running an agency. So that's when I started the group. Because I can put all the information there in one hub and it can help a plethora of people.
Yeah.
But if I didn't do that, then yeah, I guess like fucking my DMs would still be blowing up and it'd be a very long day.
I think you do get that confidence as well. Like when I look at people who are in my space who are like, they're worried about doing a sales call or like, what do I actually do when I get a client? And I felt like that at the start. And the fact of the matter is, like, you're probably not that good.
Yeah.
And like being able to accept that you're not that good. But when you were talking about you didn't feel ready because you didn't have the product there, but now you have a confidence because you've built your product up. You actually have the confidence that you can't get from elsewhere by having that robust system that you can actually say to people.
Sorry to interrupt, but like, even if I didn't have the confidence, I would have to have it now. Purely because the amount of people that message me and say thank you and like, yo bro, I joined the group a month ago and now I've got 3 models and I'm on 10k a month. I'm like, gee, like, I can't even like fault with that, and I can't even like compare or understand the feeling that it is for them, let alone myself. Like, so I've just like provided them with information, and they've gone and be able to implement it in order to go and achieve this result. And probably like 10k a month is like, I don't know, a lot of people like almost look down on that in certain spaces.
Yeah,
they're
money
like,
Twitter.
Yeah,
it's
like,
money Twitter, minimum wage.
Money Twitter, like, yeah, minimum wage, 10k a month, right? 10k a month is fucking crazy. Only 20k a year, like most people's dads and mums don't make that. And so it's like, bro, it's super good to see, and it's super good to see like people doing it at a young age. And you know what as well? Because it's possible to everyone. And because it's so like available to everyone, that's why I tell everyone like, all right, look, the first time you messaged me about OF or OF money or OFM was 2 months ago. In 3 months, I was on 100k a month. So imagine if you started then, maybe you could be on like 10, 15k a month. If you fell short of my target or my goals or what I achieved, right? But even in that time, you're on 10k a month. Boo fucking who? Yeah. I've been in worse positions, I'm not gonna lie. So it's like, a lot of people don't experience that, and they're like, maybe they haven't just put in the daily action, of course, a lot of people don't know where to put in the daily action. And that is another thing about the group, what it really sums up is the fact that, okay, whatever stage you're at, you know what you need to be doing next.
Yeah, I was going to say the same, sorry for cutting you off, but the confidence thing, I feel like that's good for it, because you've got people making no, and then you've got people making, 100 bags a month. I feel like having that kind of different levels of people allows everyone to be like, all right, I can get there, or there, and I've still got somewhere to go. I'm not just like,
Yeah, I think it's definitely difficult to learn from people who are so far ahead from you. Like, if someone was to ask you a question, I mean, I think you're probably a good coach/mentor, but I can imagine that some people, if they were to be asked a really simple question, they'd just be like, come on, like, go and watch a YouTube video, or like, go and do your own research. So when you're at that kind of level, it's hard to kind of dumb the answer down, but when you're speaking to someone who's only 1, 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of you, they've just been there and they're probably more able to help you. So having that kind of diverse range of people in the group makes it a better experience.
Most definitely, and like I say there, for about one of the first questions you asked before we diverted completely was the fact of like going ahead and messaging people in the group and then the in-real person meetup. So a lot of people who message people in the group, say you're at 0, but you message somebody who's doing 3 to 5k a month, they're a lot more open to share the game there. If you're at 0 and you message someone who makes 100k a month, okay, they're going to be very reluctant to like tell you the game. But not only because of that, it's because they're very busy themselves. You've got to respect everyone's time. And if you're coming to them saying, hey bro, what's your Twitter strat? They're like, bro, who the fuck are you? Like, well, I'm just going to explain to you my whole Twitter strat when you've got nothing to add to me. Yeah. It's a normal game of networking, and it's prevalent throughout every, I don't know, what's it called? Industry. Asset of life, like whatever it is. And a lot of people forget that, and they just think like, look, if you're part of the group, it's amazing. That's why I had the course. That's why I implemented the course, was for that reason, because I knew that a lot of the low-hanging fruit, a lot of the basic level understanding and knowledge need to be swept up and like cleaned up out of the group, because when people join the group, I want it to maintain a high level of quality. So I've got people in there, like you say, doing 6 figures a month, doing high 5 figures, doing like nice 5 figures a month. And then a lot of the people who are joining, maybe like they're below 10k a month, right? And then people there, I don't want them to feel worried or that they can't question the group because of the big boys in the group who are just going to like dumb them down and be like, bro, to go do this, go do that. Because for me, like what you said there, is if someone comes and asks me a question, I've got to dumb down my answer. But it's not really dumbing down my answer, but for me as well, like if someone's invested in me or paid for my service or like, again, paid for my knowledge, I'm happy to tell them. Again, like as soon as I've got the time in the day, I'll jump on a call, we'll clear things up. Again, like when you back and joined the group like a little while ago, was able to obviously jump on the group. I was able to fling you over all of the results. Like, bro, I'm about to sign a model. Can I get some results? Yeah, okay, it took me like 1 day or some shit. But I was able to give you all of the results that you need in order to get that model closed. Yeah, 100%. Bunch of different things in like the kind of pipeline there that we're able to help people out with. Okay, yeah, we've got 24 hours in a day. I'm going to be able to help everyone. But a lot of the times we run stuff ourselves purely because we want to maintain that quality control. I know a lot of these groups, a lot of these shards and educators will have client success managers who don't have a clue what they're doing. They're throwing like salespeople on the calls who are just closing these fucking idiots. like, yeah, bro, we've got everything you need. Oh, what you need? X, Y, Z. Yeah, we can do that. And they can't even be fulfilled in the group. So they get funneled in for 1-2K, and then they're crying to me about how they got scammed by someone else. I'm like, bro, I don't care. You know what I offer. I could have helped you out, but then again, like a lot of people I've spoken to in the past are like, oh, hey, bro, like, yeah, I want to join the group. I'm like, great, here's payment details. Goes for like a couple months. Oh, yeah, bro, I got scammed by X or Y or Z. I'm like, fuck, I care, bro. Like, I gave you the opportunity to join a very good group. Like, I could have helped you myself personally. Like, again, a lot of people in the group who have problems and questions, they've got my personal Telegram. It's how they joined the group in the first place. Or Tom.
Yeah, I think it's almost like, you know, having things come through your personal brand it kind of not restricts you, but you have to ensure that level of quality because it's attached to you. Like, you know that if someone goes and says, I joined X, Y, and Z's course, you don't want them to be saying bad things about you.
It's kind of your brand's on the line for that, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why even when I followed up
sorry
with the group,
to interrupt as well, but you know, people who are just, so for example, let's say someone who's just selling a course, because that is just so insanely scalable, the connection between member and owner is almost non-existent. Like, you might not ever speak to them, but because people are coming through your personal brand and they are speaking to you before they join, you never kind of lose complete touch between the members and yourself. Yeah,
and I never would want to. It'll get to a point, of course, where I have to implement a client success manager or something of such, but it will never be, I'm never going to implement someone who's a fucking retard, who doesn't know the game, who can't help you as much as I can. They can be working as close as they can with me before they even get a part of that job. Like, so that's the thing about it on the flip side, is maintaining that quality and making sure that everybody in this business is scaling. Because my thing is like, bro, like, it's a money glitch. It's a money glitch, bro. And I've said about it before, and I'll say about it again, like, bro, like, the premise of the business model is the exact same as everything else. Traffic, sales, scalable with more clientele. And again, on the flip side, on the micro scale, in terms of clientele for the model's account. So it's literally just a microcosm of business.
Yeah. And we were talking about this on the phone yesterday.
And how it just like scales into like every different part of it. And so, like, when you can understand every moving part and how to implement it for your specific model, for your specific agency, your direct next moves, once you understand that, and you have, again, I believe it's common sense, but I guess it's just some people lack it or some people do have it. Again, obviously, me and Tom fucking clearly have it. You go ahead and implement that, and you'll be scaling forever.
I think it is, especially with the coaching stuff. It was actually a page that I read in the Daily Stoic, and it was something that Ryan Holiday wrote about the level of awareness that you have. You can't assume that everyone has that. And I assume that, like, do you know, when you're coaching people, you might, coming back to that thing again, if you say something that you think is really obvious, like, sometimes you might just have to remember, especially as someone who's running a group like that, is that some people genuinely just won't get it. And they genuinely just don't have that level of awareness. And that's fine. But I think it kind of, his spin on it was that you've got to be patient, you've got to remember that not everyone's
so I have this to two extents, because I've got a lot of mentees aside from the group. So again, like, apart from the group, being talking about a private mentorship, which is where we help people like directly 1-to-2. Like, you'll have a private group chat with us. We'll jump on very like close 1-to-1 calls on exactly how you can scale as fast as possible. And from that, if I jump on a call with you and I tell you to do, like, I'm going to give you the exact source for your specific position at that exact time. So I know that your next roadmap is as fast scalable as possible. If you don't go ahead and implement that, I lose some respect for you. Like, if I'm like, oh, do X, do Y, do Z, and you don't fulfill on any of it, and you're complaining to me about why you got no results, I'm like, bro, I told you what to do. How can I do any more? I'm not going to come in and build your agency for you. I just do the same for myself to make way more money, right? But I can give you all of the tools that you need. But if you don't go ahead and implement them or use them, you're going to be in shit's creek for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially if people are paying for coaching. Like, I paid for a mentor, and I made sure that I called him once a week, every week for like 8 months, and made sure that after every single lesson that we did, I went and implemented it, because I thought, well, what else have I paid for if I'm not actually going to do anything? And it's just confusing as to why someone would pay for coaching. But then it might just come back to that thing of like, perhaps not everyone has that.
I can't lie. Do you know what it is? OFM is for everyone and it's for no one. Because I would say it's for everyone because I'm a normal guy. I'm from Hertfordshire. I'm like, bro, nothing special, normal middle class family. Both parents work. Fucking everyone's got a normal job. I had nothing going on in my local area. No one else made it out of my area apart from like one other guy who never put anyone on. Fucking bastard. Me and Tom
with OFM?
No, some other like ecom or some shit.
I see.
Like, if you asked him a question, he just would ignore you. Like, if you ask me a question from now where I'm from, I'm like helping people out.
Yeah.
And like me and Tom, then like we eventually fucking made it out as well ourselves, and we're like, just normal fucking kids from like a normal hometown. Again, like from Sheffield, I don't know, you've probably got like a normal thing, normal town centre, normal house, like same shit as everyone else. Like, so a lot of people, so it's for everyone in terms of that. Like, well, you could be a fucking, I've got people in the group who are like a kid from Czech, Prague, right?
Yeah, Czech Republic.
Normal guy, normal country. He's got like 2 models doing over 130k a month. He just bought a new Corvette.
Mad.
Fair play.
Yeah, like he's fucking killing. He's like 19.
Yeah.
Bro, like what the fuck? And he like implemented a lot of the stuff that we told him to, but he implemented it and he went above and beyond and like doubled down on it.
Yeah.
A lot of the people like, bro, I've been telling him to do stuff for like months. And I'm like, bro, like how many times do I have to tell you? So if you don't go ahead and implement it or take any action on anything I say, and if you're not like, if you're gonna solely rely on me, I'm like, bro, like, I'm not gonna build your agency for you. I've got my own agency to run. Plus I can give you all the tools. But if you're gonna be like, yeah, mate, so keep asking me questions, don't ever take any action. You're just not an entrepreneur. Imagine your split testing strategies, but you're doing it double the time, double the output, double the input, like double everything. Plus also we're working more than normal man, 22 hours a day, some shit. Right, we was doing like insane hours. You add all them factors together and there's no doubt you're gonna make it. Plus like business etiquette from before, in terms of like we tried a lot of things and it didn't work out, so we would have had to drive. We're just implementing it to the right business model, and then obviously you see results.
Because Tom, I didn't realise how far Tom actually got into starting that clothing brand.
Yeah.
Like he put a tweet up the other day and it was like someone on a podcast wearing the t-shirt that he made. What was it called? Like 1%.
I was part of the band before as well. So like me and him started out together with a third partner as well. I used to speak to my dad quite a lot, quite closely, and I didn't see the direction for it as blowing up. There was a lot that was going on, you know, in terms of, again, like business standpoint from what I knew it as. And I was doing Forex this time. I was like, look, if I'm going to divert my attention and energy, I thought I was going to make it a Forex trader.
Yeah.
Little did I know. By the way, that's to go out to every Forex trader out there. Wish you the best, hopes and dreams, but again, be ready to stick it out like 3-4 years before you even make a penny.
Bro, do you know, I actually have a boy who's doing well off it.
Yeah,
like,
so
he actually trades himself, but he's like super locked in.
Yeah,
like
so do I as well.
He's got a couple of funded accounts, and he'll place like one trade every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and just like makes.
I've got to avoid the
like
exact
2%.
same, but I'm just talking about the 95%.
Yeah.
Okay, like I know one boy, you know one boy. How many boys do we know?
Yeah.
That's true.
And
then the amount of people that have actually tried it.
Yeah. So you look at the sea of people. Okay, right. You take a drop out, and maybe them two are in there.
We know one person each.
Everyone we know. So that kind of hits the nail on the head. But yeah, again, working with a partner makes things way smoother, way easier. Accomplish a lot more in a shorter time frame. Working then again with people and bouncing off a big network again shortens the time frame. I wouldn't have got to where I got to. I wouldn't even know about OFM if I wasn't part of a network, a private network. And then again diving into tapping with a lot of boys who are already in the space. They've maybe got some success. And again, it goes back to being the polite thing. Be polite to a lot of these people. Be a likable person, and you'll go far.
Yeah.
Be a dickhead in these chats and be someone who's demanding or whatever, and you're never gonna make it.
Yeah.
I even experienced people who come across my group. And they think they can come into my group and do that. Right? And I'm like, no, like, I give people warnings, I give people stern warnings. Even kick people out of the group if you're not acting in accordance with how we would want things run and respectfulness. You know, it goes down to like basic premises. So as long as people can oversee that and kind of get past that, we're due to make it in life.
You know, so for, I guess, everyone going into the online space, and we spoke to a lot of people about this, just mentorship in general, how much do you think, in terms of fast tracking, I know you guys scaled pretty quickly in the OFM space, would you say that the mentorship can really fast track that, or I don't know, compared to how you were learning?
Right, so my thing, compared to the space you are in today, right, and you know what, everyone who messages me, I tell them directly, good luck, right? Because I'm like, bro, if you don't want to go and invest in yourself, or go and invest in OF money, or invest in Double M&TH's private mentorship with OF money, good luck. Because I know the trial and error. I know that the insane amount of hours it takes in order to overcome that barrier of success. And I didn't get lucky. I got, what's it called? When you work hard enough, you get paired with luck, and then you go on to this opportunity or whatever opportunity that comes around. Me and Tom had that, and like we were putting in so many hours, but we were seeking out so much opportunity. And again, going back to the human chess thing, we know how to play the game, right? The game is another thing that no one talks about when you're getting into the entrepreneur space. Like, this is a big thing that I never hear. You don't hear Alex or Mosey say, you don't hear Chris Williams say, you don't hear, I don't know, even David Goggins say it, right? Anyone who's in any realm, it's the game. Right? There's a way to play the game in order to put odds in your favour. And a lot of people lack that common sense in order to implement that. So when we're networking with people, when we're speaking with people, you say things, or you say a certain thing to provoke that answer, and maybe you understand that he's of this certain type of way, so you'll speak a different way to somebody. And it's not being a fake person, it's being a fake person. It's to an extent, it's to the more like obligation of like trying to go on and achieve more. Okay, and it's not like you're deceiving them, you're just being a nice person in that moment.
It's kind of being a chameleon, isn't it? So you're kind of blending into.
It's probably one of the most interesting things I learned at school was in sociology. It's called the the dramatization theory, which is essentially where in every situation you're in life, it's basically a drama, and you're playing a character depending on who you're with. Yeah. Like, because if you think about it, even with like the people that you're closest with, you're probably still never truly yourself, because you're acting different with everyone. So but the theory was basically just like, who really are we? But it is. You do act like you act differently with your parents than you would do with your boys. Does that mean does that mean that you're lying to your boys or your mum? No.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the big thing as well, and it's not being two-faced. Like, oh, you acted differently in this environment to the other. Say you're with your close boy, he noticed it in two different environments. No, you're playing the fucking game.
Yeah.
And it's all the game is like, okay, right, well, I got more out of that situation than you ever would have, and I got more out of that situation than you ever would have. Guess who's in a better position now?
Yeah.
Gee, don't fucking judge me for it. Catch up. You better be a chameleon yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that in a lot of times in the spaces as well, that people don't know how to like act in accordance with their environment. And that can play a huge factor in terms of how much you get out of that environment.
Yeah.
Well, I go to like a networking event now, I'm going to put on a fun, I'm going to be the big guy, because a lot of people are going to attract to me.
Yeah.
But if I go and sit in a room in a networking event now and I'm with multi-millionaires and billionaires, I'm not going to act the same person. I'm shutting the fuck up and I'm listening.
There's nuance to it though. Like, obviously, if you're with, let's say you're with the millionaires and billionaires, and you stray too far away from actually being you, and you just do exactly what they think, they're just going to sniff it out.
Yeah,
like, there's nuance to it. You have to be you in that scenario,
and so
rather
this is what
than
I think. Going from that exact point is what I think about. That's the game, and that's what you like. Okay, you don't either have it or you don't, but you can learn it. And if you don't choose to learn it, or don't ever think about that little back step, or like that, I don't know, secondary information that you need to go and apply to whatever like position you're in, you'll never get to that like high level.
I do think it comes with time. Like, you need to be in those situations. I can think of like this time last year when we started kind of like meeting people and speaking to more people, and I realised, people are just operating on a completely different wavelength to where I was then.
Yeah.
And the more you notice it, the more you're like, right, this is what it's going to be like when I go and meet X person. And but you need to expose yourself to those situations. Like, this is the kind of thing that if you're not actually going out there and doing it, you probably won't understand the feeling. Like, it's not something that you can learn at home. Like, it's not something that you can learn about and be like, right, I'm going to go and act differently with X person, because you need to be there. You need to go out in the field.
And you need to fail a few times as well.
Yeah, 100%.
My big thing is like, this is again going back to the OF stuff, and again like with how if someone would have bought mentorship or doesn't, right? Well, like, okay, go and put like 1 million failures in the field first. I did it, right? And I can tell you how to do not all of them and just do the right stuff. Right? But if you want to go and put the million failures in the field, get ready to go and experience all them failures and and go and fucking do them. Right? A lot of people, can I swear? Okay, cool. A lot of people like, won't go and do the failures. They'll be like, oh wow, like, I haven't made it in this space. And I'm like, no shit, you haven't tried enough. I had 2 people trying 2 different avenues every different time. So imagine how many split tests we did every day.
Yeah.
There's fucking millions, right? And like someone else will go like, oh yeah, I outreached this girl on Instagram and she didn't reply, so OFM's dead. I'm like, bro, I did like 1,000 DMs before I even got one reply. Got one reply, and then guess what? She aired me off the next message. Did another 1,000 DMs, and I was maxing out my DMs every day for like a month straight.
To be fair, over that 2 weeks before I messaged you, I probably did like 2K, maybe something like that.
Yeah, and follow you.
And then this is after what I was explaining to you on the call when we spoke a little while back, and you were like, okay, right, you have to approach it slightly differently, right? And it's like, okay, you can put a BS outreach message out, right? And a lot of these girls, they receive them every fucking day. Right? You get outreach message after outreach message. That's why you kind of need to take it with a little pinch of grain of salt. It's like, you need to offer them some value. You need to be quirky enough for them to open the message. Girls get DMs every day, especially agency girls, like, or like a girl who's on her like, they're getting messages from simps. Your messages can get lost in them. They get messages from 1,000 agencies who are like trying to scale them. A lot of them bullshit agencies. A lot of people in the space, unfortunately, are very shit at their job, which I think is a massive positive. And me helping people and getting good at this space is a massive positive, because it just creates that disparity between my agency and theirs. Right? And if I can go and show that, like, no, I actually get results with these models, then that person over there who says they does, and they've come slow on replies, they can't rise that model that they say they do 100k a month with, a lot of them stuff you can kind of implement and really like kind of.
It's the 80-20 law, isn't it?
Yeah.
20% of the agency owners will make 80% of the revenue in the space.
Yeah,
I think
it's a law throughout the universe.
Have you ever seen that?
I did a video on this, but even in like MySpace copywriting, if you think about Iman's course, think about Iman's followers.
I hate on copywriters for the same reason.
Think about this, right? Like, every single person who joins Iman's course, or every single person who joined the Real World or Hustlers University, the first thing in there was copywriting. Yeah. How many of those people actually understand marketing? They actually understand the backend system. They've just been told to load up a Google Doc and write some emails. And, the majority of people who think they have a copywriter, if you actually read their copy.
Oh, it's so shit. Do you know how many copywriters get outreached a day for like, just, I don't know, write my tweets or write my Telegram message, like something like that. And I go like, all right, do 10 examples. And they're so whack. Like, bro, who did you learn off? Like, my little sister could do better. Like, she only knows me half as well as you probably do from reading all my tweets. But it's like, so many people are rubbish at their job, and that's what I think is good. That's why you have this disparity in business. And that's why you have the leaders of the space. That's why you have people who are successful, because they just deliver that fulfillment, better level of service. Yeah. And I think it's the same in the OFM space. If you can deliver that better level of fulfillment or service in actually scaling a model. Bro, I've taken a model from $68 to $30K a month. Bro, what's that, like a 150x return or something? I don't even know what it is, right? Can't put it off the top of my head. But at the same time, because I've got them results to show me, or like prove myself, now I want to go to another model. I don't have an agency page. I don't have a website. Like, oh, where's this? Where's that? I run the business. Yeah. My man over there, wow, he bought followers. Look at all them followers. Look at all the likes he's got under his picture, right? And so you have this disparity in the space. And again, that's me talking from an expert opinion from a lot further down the game. Yeah. When you're starting out, this I'm sure everybody who's starting out. So let me break it down into this, because again, I was at zero before as well. So if you're starting out, do go ahead and do what I do. Make an Instagram page, buy some followers, make a shitty little logo, put it on your pictures, brand it with some fake models, buy some likes, buy some comments, buy a fake testimonial or Fiverr. Do all of these things, because when you go and outreach a model, this is your credibility to start with. Do you think any of the models I got out for my first month would have ever joined me if I said, hi, I'm Mason, I'm going to make you 5 times the amount of money? Right? They're not joining me. If I said, hi, I'm Mason, I run a heat management agency. Here, go and check out our Instagram, check out the other models we've already scaled up, and we can go ahead and do the same for you. Right? Speak out with confidence. Drop a voice note to them in the messages. So don't just be messaging like a little dweeb, some long ass paragraph. They're not going to read it. It's a girl, short attention span. Plus also she gets 1,000 of them. She doesn't care. But you send her a voice note. Oh, well, that's a little bit different. Plus also you can get some personality across. Maybe make a joke in the voice note. You explain to her how you're going to take her from 1K a month, because that's what the average OF creator makes, all the way up to 30K a month. You can implement this social media strategy. She's doing this wrong. She's doing that wrong. Or maybe don't tell her she's doing something wrong. She's going to build up resentment for you. Again, apologies, I always speak fast. But get my point across quickly. Have your Instagram page. The website doesn't matter. If they ask you where your website is, say it's undergoing reconstruction, the web developers sorting a few things out on the back end. Bro, just lie. Why do people not understand the fact that you can literally lie in business? It's what everyone does. Like, if you're starting out with your first ever clients, you've got no results, you've got no experience, you haven't scaled a creator before. Talk with the confidence that you have. Yeah. How do you ever think I got a 6-figure a month creator to sign to my agency when I was literally in my dad's shed, chatting for these models who are on like 2K a month? I signed a model who was already doing like 5 figures a month and told her to come to me, and I made her 6 figures a month because I had the confidence to speak to her on the call and tell her exactly what she wanted to hear. Play the fucking game.
I feel like it's a mixture of the as if principle, if you've ever heard of that before, where it's kind of like you live as if you're doing something and eventually you'll become that person. The same with running like a big agency mixed with like a numbers game. So it's like if I don't know if you've ever seen that diagram of like a guy who's digging for gold and he's like this far away. I feel like with the outreach and the starting up something, I don't know if it's the same for copywriting.
Really,
you're always kind of like that. Your gold mine might be some insane model or some crazy client, and most people will either just give up before or they'll get it and then they'll be like, oh, I can't get back out of the tunnel.
I do also think that there is another side to, obviously, if you're just starting out, you have to speak with some sort of confidence. But if you haven't got any results, you can't expect people to always believe you. Like, there will always be people, like, especially with, perhaps it's different with OF models. But for example, if I was reaching out to a business owner and I wanted to write his emails, if you're starting out, the business owner probably knows more about emails and copywriting than you do.
Right, so that's the exact premise there. OF models versus business owner.
Yeah, right? yeah.
Like, there's a big disparity between that and what I was going to... I can't remember the point I was going to touch on from prior in regards to...
He was talking about as if, gold.
Yeah, okay, so as if you're at the close to the gold point. And this is the exact relation that I'm going to explain to everyone here about how we did it, right? Because I was sending thousands of DMs. So I had a rubbish personal account. I thought the old Tate method was, I'll go to a cigar shop, I'll take a picture smoking a cigar. That was the only picture on my Instagram. I think I had like 1K followers. Run crazy outreach. They're going to think I'm that guy, maybe. And then outreaching a bunch of people, signed actually a couple models through that strategy, just from pure outreach, from pure numbers and volume. A lot of girls from my local area, a couple of them are even on the platform. Don't know why, they're still not making much money to this day, bless them, but they don't want to join to an agency and make a lot more. Carrying on with a bunch of outreach, and this is when we learnt about referrals. Tom outreached a model and her boyfriend replied. We're like, oh shit, like her boyfriend's replied, oh no, this is like a situation that we haven't encountered before. It's something that isn't spoke about in the private group chats, right? But now I speak about it openly because I'm like, I don't understand the power of what you have here with referrals. He goes, hold on, what's this? Like, you're telling me you're going to make my girlfriend 5x her amount of money for like 4x less the work. And we're like, yeah, bro, like, this is what we do, this is what we blah, blah, blah. Tom's like, yeah, let's jump on a call. And Tom's a sick salesman.
Is it?
Before he was doing an OFM and stuff like this, but this guy was a salesman because he just had so much confidence in himself. He's like,
he did SMA for a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, did SMA. So he's done a bunch of, we've done outreach before. We've done this, we've done that. Like, we're no stranger to it. And we also knew that, like, our back's up against the wall. We either make some shit work or we don't. So it's like, that's where the confidence can also come from. Like, it comes from what? Aspiration or desperation. So like, you've either got them two to lean back on, and if you don't have either, then I don't know, use magic. But anyway, doing a bunch of outreach, got on a call with this guy and we're like, yeah, look, if you can bring us models, we can also give you a percentage referral for doing so. Because he was like on about like, I want to take a percentage of this because I'm going to give you my girlfriend's account to run up. I'm like, okay, cool. So we took it on a very low percentage for us. And this was like very undercutting like usual market standard. But we did so, and then we also achieved some results because we just was chatting ourselves or some shit, and we just implemented everything we learned from the group. Did that, and it was like, all right, now I've seen you can do well, I'm going to bring you a bunch more models. But this guy was bringing like 5-6 models a week. I'm like 2 months into OFM. This is what I say about referral. To get a good referral, they're flicking you models every day, right? And if they're flicking you high quality models, you're now the onboarding process that we have a bunch of models and we just select the best.
How did he know so many models?
He was in the space himself. He was a creator himself.
When
I tell people okay, well, who should I use a referral? Bro, fucking anyone. You can use male creators, you can use male influencers, you can use girl creators, you can use girl influencers, you can use a taxi man in Romania, I can touch on that story after. You can use absolutely anyone in the world who knows that you're in the space, who has access to another OF model, who maybe isn't doing so good. Maybe she's doing good. Maybe she's on 10k a month. Guess what? What's 10k a month to 100k a month? Maybe you could 10x her results and take a percentage for doing so, with her doing less of the work. So there's a lot in this space which people very much overlook. In terms of like the outreach stuff. So again, like we had rubbish Instagrams, pure numbers game, outreach to referral, got him on board, referring people to our agency. And so this is what I'm talking about, the digging in the dirt or whatever. In terms of, we hired 5-6 models and we're like, bro, like, fuck, this is a lot of work. But like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know how to get a subscriber to that girl's account. Fuck no, she looks ugly. I don't even know what I'm doing. We signed her anyway. So anyway, we brought all these models on, and then the very next model we brought on, super niche model, right? A lot of people will know. Super niche model that we brought over to the agency, she was super slow, right? Didn't respond to any of our texts, didn't give us any media for starting the OF page. So like, Tom messaged me one day, again, like I had a problem back in my hometown. I'll come out of hospital, I'm back in my bed finally. Tom's like, yo bro, right, we're going to launch this model tonight. It's very ready to go. Are you ready? Can you just cover the chats for 5 minutes? I'm going to jump back on after. I'm going to go watch UFC at my boy's house. I'm like, can't. Right? It's like 10 p.m, right? And we've launched this model. I jump on the chats. I kid you not, this was the 11th of December, right? I jump on the chats for 5 minutes. 5 minutes turned into 6 hours. Jumped on at 10 p.m, went to sleep at 4 a.m, chatting the whole time with Tom. Tom was like, bro, this is fucked. We didn't even know what chatters was at this point. So we've signed and launched this model. Her account blew up like this.
Mad.
And this was when life changed for us. So before we're doing like 2-3k a month with OFM, with like 10 models, so it's super shit. They're all doing fuck all.
That must have been an insane workload as well.
Yeah, I was
Bro,
going to
it
say.
is insane. Even now to this day, like if you've got 10 models, there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
Especially to do it right, especially how hard the space is getting. If you don't know what to do, if you're again, for everyone out there, if you're going to run the trial and error method, good luck, G. Game's got a whole lot harder. Them YouTube methods that you catch up with a year ago from X, Y, or Z mentor, they don't really work anymore. So a lot of people in the space, that's why you pay for information. That's why you pay for the access. Yeah. And it's not just like if you pay for a group or something, you're paying for like the up-to-date information, which I have to stay on top of course, for one of the agencies. So we launched this model, and in that first 24-hour period, we made 4K on her account. And obviously, we were on like 50%, and also on 50% margins because I'm the chatter at this point.
Yeah.
So I've made 1K in a day. I'm like, right, Tesco's getting quit tomorrow. Tom already quit Waitrose. He already burnt the bridge. Was like, no, we're making this fucking work. So I'm like, yeah, I'm quitting my job as well. And then you just sent all in from there. And then from there, she made like, I don't know, 16k in her first month. Take home, that's like 4k for me. I've gone from like 1k a month at Tesco up to like 4k. Next month, she went to 50k a month. After that, 100k a month. So like after that, we was just like, yeah. And this is the story about the how FaceApp made me 100k a month as well, because it was with the same model, right? So started out December 11th, went up the first whole of December, and then a lot of people, bro, we're in marketing and model agency world, okay? Your model has to look sexy online in order for someone to convert to her fucking page. It's like sales. If the fucking landing page don't look sexy, if her Instagram don't look sexy, no one's gonna click through to the OF page and become a subscriber and go on to speak to her and want to see her intimate images, whatever it is. Right, so we understood this, and with the model we had at time, like we just threw some FaceApp on it, bro. Fucking, I don't know, slimming cheeks, pretty ×4, fucking whatever it is, bing in the hips, blah blah, cute little picture, and this was when the first time we went to Dubai. So again, like December, we joined this private group, started OFM, started running up numbers, made a bit of a name for ourselves. January, there's a event in Dubai. I've never been to Dubai. I've never made enough money to go to Dubai. This was 2023, so like start of last year. And so Tom already booked a ticket out there. He was like, bro, I'm going. Like, this is a networking event of our lives. Like, we'll meet so many man. Blah blah. Anyway, we're like, all right, cool, we'll go out there. The day before we went out to Dubai, Tom posted a picture on the model's Instagram, her pretty faced up picture, looking niche, looking whatever it is. And bro, this picture went from 0 to 100. And I'm talking like, if you're in the OF space, you'll understand. Back in 2023, not a lot of people doing Instagram. A lot of the bigger the hype was TikTok. So when we posted this image went and hit explore page, but to like pack a punch level. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. Like okay, maybe you get like 10k likes or whatever it is. This picture went on and just started zooming forever. It was on like 100k likes within a few days. Like that's insane.
100k likes,
and it was one picture posted.
So it's not the picture as well, not even a reel or something.
Yeah, it's not the same as a reel where you get all the views and whatever they don't convert. And this is in 2023, January. So again, like we've gone out to Dubai, we're getting 700 subs a day on this account. Mental. And you'll know from it, like for anybody else, this isn't going to make any sense. Maybe average creator gets like 1 sub a day. Yeah. Right?
Really?
Like maybe if they're scaling up, like you don't get many subscribers. But when you're scaling up, maybe you get like 5 to 10 subs a day, maybe 20, 30 subs a day if you're doing good. 20, 30 subs a day is still 10k a month.
Yeah.
If you're getting like 100 plus subs a day, you're on like 100k a month. So she's getting 700 subs a day, but I didn't even know what OFM was. Remember, I'm 2 months in and I still don't have a clue. So we're out in Dubai, we've got one chat on at this point. There was a whole scandal about chatting, about if you have 24-hour chatting, accounts were getting clocked for having people on around the clock and getting banned. So he was cautious of that. We had one chat on 8 hours and he's now my chat manager to this day. He'll even be able to relay this story. I think I spoke about it in the podcast with him. I need to release that podcast with my chat manager as well.
You did a podcast with the chat manager?
With the chat manager.
No
the one in the Philippines. Oh, so you would have seen it.
I've not seen the actual... Did you put the phone on the group?
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
We'll go back and watch it sometime. Yeah. But bro, that podcast is fire because my chat managers are like beasts. They're like, bro, if a subscriber bucks into my chat manager onto the chats, it's game over. His wallet is gone. Like literally, the wife's inheritance, the kid's inheritance. It's better in the model.
Chat manager. So you get the chat manager to run his own chat group. Train other chatters,
like
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the chat manager
that's like the secondary business that we have. We have obviously a chatting agency, and the chat managers run all of that to an extent where like they will find the chatters, we'll train the chatters up to our level, which is very high, and then we can go ahead and rent them out to people for a percentage fee based on monthly recurring revenue. So it's another like good churner for OF Money and kind of Heat itself that we offer to the group. I was doing it before we were selling chatters for like £333. And I used to think that was kind of expensive. To like a new person, £300 for like a chatter, you're like, wow, it's kind of expensive. Until I sold one to somebody, they jumped on for the first shift and in 2 hours they made 1.1k. And I was like, I'm never doing that again.
What?
Yeah. And so like, that's the scalability and the money inside of OFM is like in 2 hours, you rinsed the chatter who is paid $2.03%, right? Made 1.1k off of somebody in 2 hours and that person takes his percentage chop, so probably like $200-$300. That chat, no. $400-$500, that chat is paid $20-$30 a shift. And yeah, after that I was like, no, I'm never doing that again. Now we're just charging percentage basis.
Yeah.
Like a chat agency type of stuff, because for us it just doesn't work out long term. Go and find your own chats if you want to. Or go and like circumvent the entire process. Again with like learning and education, like we had a mentee come on board doing like 40-50k a month.
Yeah. And
struggling with his chat, and we put our chatters on for like 20%, then he went up to 100k a month. It's like, okay, he's taking that extra 30k chop. And it's like, okay, you can either do that and like you pay what you pay the premium in order to get the service that you want, or go ahead and train your own chatters. Maybe in like 6 months' time, you're still in the same position.
Yeah, frees up a lot more time for the people hiring them as well, doesn't it? Like, say if they just come to an agency rather than having to find like 5 man or whatever, train them up, get them to do this, learn.
It's hard
whatever,
as well. Like, bro, like our chat manager, like he's been with us for 1.5 years. Like, it's not like a walk in the park. It's not like, bro, look at any other job. Like a cyber security guy, I don't know, but he probably goes for like 6 months of training. He went to uni for 4 years, maybe, right? It's not like a walk in the park job. Like, again, these chatters are like highly skilled. The ones that come to our agency, they don't just get a job. You can't just give a Filipino, someone who's not even native English, to understand English culture and then be able to sell to someone. Sales game.
Yeah, that's
what I mean. Our chatters are so high level, like the chat managers. His sales game's sick. He could probably sell you that pen. Type shit. Like, super sick. So it's amazing to see. But like, yeah, again.
What would you say the biggest bottlenecks are with your agency at the moment? Because you're the educator. So, you know, you've got tons of people coming to you every single day asking you for advice. But when you're the one kind of at the top, let's say, you have to go through the trial and error. So what do you think your biggest bottleneck is at the moment?
So I'll go through the bottlenecks from start to finish. Right? Because every stage of OFM has a bottleneck. So you're starting out. Your first bottleneck is you don't have a fucking Scooby-Doo what to do, and you need to understand how you even start OFM. You've understood your port, and your bottleneck is, how do I make money? Okay, now you've learned OFM. Second bottleneck, what is OFM? Now you've learned about what OFM is. Boom, next bottleneck. Right, now I understand that OFM is, you sign a model to your agency, you then scale up her account through social media marketing and bring the subscribers to her page, and then you sell to them people in a certain way that makes the most amount of money out of all of them people, and then you take your percentage for doing so. Then, to scale that, obviously you hire and employ people to go on and do the same replicable thing with a bunch of other models. So, what's your first bottleneck? Hiring models. How do I get a model? Right? So that's the first. I'm going through it on a general premise to also understand for a lot of people who maybe are coming new to the space or starting out. Because again, then I'll go on to where our bottlenecks are now. So, how to get a model, right? Bunch of different outreach methods. You outreach from your agency page, a bit washed, like a lot of people have done that by now. A lot of these girls, they're getting messaged by a bunch of agency pages every single day. Or you've got a fake personal page, which is what I recommend. Maybe like you've got a personal page, maybe you've got some cool pictures. If you haven't got cool pictures, ask your friend to go to Ivy Asia, grab a tap water for free, and then walk out, get a sick pic, and go out, right? Buy some likes on that picture, buy some followers for your account, and make it look like you are an OF manager that makes good money, right? So you can fake it till you make it in terms of this. You can fake it with like a model page. You can ask people to be your referrals. You can do a bunch of like, these are like the main premises. The referrals is the big thing that I lean on, to go ahead and get your first model. And then after that, now I've given you all the methods. You don't send one DM and you get closed. Now run the numbers on all of them, all the different platforms. You've got everything available to you to possibly do it. And again, it's like any business. Oh, OFM doesn't work, so I couldn't get a model. Well, how much did you try? Like, how many products do you have to test on dropshipping? How many SMMA clients do you have to outreach before someone signed a $200 a month retainer? Right?
Yeah,
there's all these different things that you have to go through. So it's like with OFM, okay, like now a model, maybe it took you 2 months, and so this is another story. One of our mentees, it took him 3 months to get a model because, okay, again, he wasn't applying everything that we said, and he was a bit slow, but he signed one model. The next month after that, we did the chatting for him. Bro, he made 30k in his first month. First legit month on OFM.
Mad.
Bro, how the name me another business model. You don't do that. And then from there, he's been on like 30 to 50k a month. And he come to the last event, and I've got literally me speaking with him about how he was starting out, took him a few months, then went to 30k a month, and now he's scaling up to 50. Same implementation. You have to run the numbers after that in order to get your model. And you also have to do it with a certain level of creativeness and finesse that no one talks about in terms of, you don't just, okay, what's your model outreach script? You don't have just a model outreach script. Every model is going to apply to you different. Every conversation is that slight different element of personality. Maybe she says certain words. Maybe when you've started speaking to her, you understand that she has different goals and motivations. Maybe she's not motivated by the money. Maybe she just wants to do content creation. Maybe she just, I'm not even going to say it, maybe she likes to get herself out there online. You never know, right? So you have to tailor your conversation with how you're speaking to the model.
I always think with outreach, like I always just tell myself that like, what would you say if you knew this person was going to say yes? Like if you knew you were going to land a client at the end of it, what would you say to them in order to do so? Like if you knew, guaranteed that when you outreach this model, she was going to say yes, what would you have to do to get there? Like look at their page and look at exactly what they want.
Yeah. reverse engineer, but then again, I think you have to tailor it to the OFM model and the people you're outreaching.
Yeah.
So again, with businesses, you can much more tailor your response or your what you're going to tell them, because they'll take maybe some feedback a bit more hard. If you tell a girl,
I guess it's a lot more personal. Yeah, it's a lot more personal, isn't it?
And again, like obviously you're dealing with beautiful models online, 10 out of 10s. So like when you're outreaching them, you do have to be a little bit more particular in the words you select and how you go ahead and send your message. So outreaching models, there we go, we covered this. Next, how do you run traffic to the model page? Okay, you've got a model who's interested. Always, when you're through in the DMs, get them through, get their number, so it's a little bit more interpersonal. You can then voice note them, speak to them back and forth, and set up a phone call. So this is what we bang on about in the group, is setting up a phone call with the model. Purely because when you're on the phone call with the model, if she hasn't signed yet, you can smoke them on a phone call very easily. You can go ahead and spit your shit. You can talk about why you're the best agency. You can then go ahead and flip the narrative, which is what we tell a lot of people to do, which is the higher level game, is go and flip the narrative. Why aren't you making 30k a month? What have you been doing? Oh, you've been with an agency before. What happened? Why didn't it work out? They should be like, oh, well, I was a bit lazy, or this agency wasn't confident enough to scale me. Okay, well, no worries, you're in good hands now. Blasé about it. Keep confident on the call. Remember, and also get some numbers in the game in terms of getting these calls over the line, because maybe the first call you don't close, but maybe the second, maybe the third call, maybe the fifth call you close. That fifth call you close, maybe it's your first model, right? Guess what? You have to run all these iterations again. Boo-hoo. But guess what? The third model you close might be the one to make you 100k a month. Oh, was it worth it now? Maybe so. So a lot of people will be like, oh, I've tried X amount, I've tried for a month, I've tried for 2 months. All right, bro, maybe it's your 3,988th DM that you send that signs that model that goes on to make maybe it goes on to make 2k a month. Yeah. Okay? Better than your average job. Mm-hmm. Much better. I got my living testament. My life's pretty good, right? We can do what we want when we want. Plus also, you can scale up from there. It's just about learning and getting skin in the game. Signing models, of course, we're diverting, but also going into some major key points is signing the model next. Is after that, how do I run traffic to her account? So I've got her onboarded. Use mondays.com, build her out a content plan. If you want to know the exact.
Do you use monday.com for your models? That's mad.
Yeah.
Mondays is good to be fair.
Mondays is bro.
Yeah.
I see the template that we give away in the group is fucking very sick. We've got 4 different platforms. I'm not even going to give too much away. You can go ahead and hit me up.
I was going to say, bro, you're giving away some crazy sauce here. Rosie style.
Yeah, people need to know, because if you're in the industry and you don't know what to do, all right, well, I know, go and do trial and error, watch this podcast type shit. Again, we use Mondays, we set up in a certain way that is very easy and digestible for the model, so she can come on and you've got to remember that when you're dealing with an OF model, I'm not saying they're low IQ, right? Of course, I've just put that out there, but in the same way, I just mean that they like things simple in their life, right? They're on the platform a lot of time. Maybe they don't have a job. They're not working in cybersecurity. They can break down crazy numbers and data and do all this fucking outlandish shit. So you need to make it simple for them, which is what we do. And we send them a Loom video explanation of how to run the Mondays, right? A lot of people overlook that. Even now to this day, if there's a model who I've got onboarded to my agency and she needs to make a certain piece of content, I'll go ahead and make a Loom video breaking down the perfect content, breaking down her content, breaking down the differences in between and how she can improve. And bro, to the right model, she's not going to see it as a bad thing. She wants good results in OF as well. Right? She don't want to be on the platform making $500 to $100 a month. She wants to be there making 30, 50k a month with the big girls. So in doing so and giving them feedback, a lot of people don't have the confidence to do so. The next thing after that really is running traffic to the model page, like a sales page, like anything else, any offer that you have in life. Remember, the offer that the girl is kind of offering is service, speaking to a hot model online or a fat model online or a midget model online or a black model online, any of these preferences that a guy has, or selling his explicit contents, or her explicit contents, sorry. So you have these two kind of service and offer, that you have for the service and product that you have, which you're offering on an OnlyFans page. So how do you get someone to come on board? Different marketing methods. So you've got obviously Instagram Reels are popping at the moment still. You've got Twitter, you've got Reddit, which is a lot more niche. I'm not going to go into exactly how to run all of these on this podcast. I'm really pressed for time at this point. But obviously, if people want to know more, they know where to find me. Actually, they don't yet, do they?
We'll tell them at the end.
Yeah, maybe you can find the end of where to find me, the mysterious man. again, like you run all of these, and so now, for example, maybe you've built up an Instagram page where you're posting consistent reels, you're posting high quality niche reels. Maybe you've put her in the office niche, and you've hired out an office for the day, and you're recording these little skits. If you want to know where to find good skits, find other creators in the space who are doing good and banging big views, 100k plus, 300k plus views, mil plus views. They're what are really doing well at the moment. Obviously, they're favoured by the algorithm for a certain reason. If you find a brunette who's slightly skinny, and you can get your model to replicate her outfits, the environment perfectly, then why would you not do well, right? You start posting it out yourself. Obviously, the algorithm, the platform, and the people behind this page like that content. So it's like somewhere, so you've just got to put it in front of people. Again, then you can start scaling up. You get subscribers in, people who come over to the page, and then obviously selling to them. How do you sell to them in the most optimal way? Build relationships. These guys are on there fulfilling a service. Porn online is for free, so they're not there for that. Obviously, they're not paying to see this girl naked, right? They can go see any girl naked for free, especially if her frame build, whatever they want, and get to see doing the crazy stuff online. So they're there to build that connection with girls. Obviously, in their minds, they think they're speaking to the girl, which unfortunately isn't the case. However, they're still given a very good service, much more than the girl would probably have given them.
Yeah.
So with the chatters, with the way my chatters speak to people online, fulfilling a very good service. You know, like much more in depth than that girl would ever give that horny random, I don't know, fat bald guy, 40 years old lawyer who doesn't even get anything from his wife anymore, online satisfaction. So again, like I think it's like kind of a good service in that type of thing, because maybe again he's at home on like a Tuesday, wife's not putting out, but he gets to speak to my model Angela, who's an absolute star, who gets to give him everything that he wants in the world, tells him how much of a good boy he is, like whatever it is, and obviously it's all the chat's doing. So in doing that, I mean, like that's how you do the selling to the guys. Again, running scripts with these people to make them feel like it's a live experience. Bunch of different random pay-per-view if they're into something niche or more specific. Plus, you can go ahead and sell them like a custom. If they want something specific for a higher price, and then you can get your model to make it up and send it to them. So a bunch of different sales techniques you can use, but the main thing is building relationships with these guys. Like your chatters building relationships with these guys in order so that they can be not manipulated, but sold to in the best way possible in order to maximize sales for the account. But so the guy also gets his satisfactory experience in the best way. It's the only way he's going to keep coming back.
Yeah.
And again, I always relate it back to normal business, sales, and traffic. Mm-hmm. If you went to somebody else's course and you got massive, crazy, good fulfillment, you're going to go back and buy the next product. Same with OF. If you're a subscriber and you go to a model's page and you're satisfied with what you see, you're going to go back and spend some more.
Yeah.
So
I think clearly there's a lot more that goes into it than most people see, rather than just find a model and you're making 30k a month.
Yeah, I think, in the simple terms you put it there, find a model, make 30k. But again, like you say, there's a lot more on the back end, which is where people don't have that knowledge in order to understand to go and implement.
Yeah,
which is kind of what we clear up in the group in the course is them little intricate details, like I said, about the softwares there that we use, about the how to take a model call, about the how to run traffic to a model's page, all the tiny little details that are very overlooked, which people think like, oh, I'll watch one YouTube video on what OFM is and think they're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. Like with every hustle.
So you spoke about obviously going to the Philippines to link up with your chat manager. I know you've had some good stories from back then. So if you just even run it back to like when you first got there, and what even happened when you went down to the Philippines?
We've gone from Dubai to the Philippines, right? So I'm like from ultra luxury down to like I'm living in a shanty, right? So immediately I've had like a reality shock. And for these guys, it's their normal life, really. A lot of them, like, I don't know if you've been sent videos as well about how your chatter can't jump online because the power's out, or because their corrugated iron door has just come swept off.
I showed him one of the videos.
They've got no power, because they always have power cuts as well. But anyway, I've paid for all of the chat managers to come out to this island, this what's it called, like a guest island, whatever it is. So we've hired things out, and they've come over, and I've never met them. I don't really know what they look like in real life, like I said. So again, when we're going over to them with me, Tom, and the cameraman, and we've landed there, we've got a little tuk-tuk all the way to our apartment, like we're going through the streets, and like there's kids up on the street smoking, like riding motorbikes and shit, and we're like, what is going on here? Like compared to Dubai, we're like, our heads are still spinning. It's got to the point to the fact that we've got to the airport. The airport's like genuinely no bigger than this room. Like the airport's tiny, and we've got there. And then we've taken a boat to the island. So we're like, with our suitcase and shit, like it's all, I don't know, super strange what's going on. Get over there, meet our chat managers first time. It was a lovely experience. So like I say, I didn't know what they looked like. They're amazing guys. Their English is amazing as well. So we got on very well with them. We went straight to closest beach, cracked open some coconuts, cracked open some beers, some Red Horse. Red Horse is like the beer to drink out there, and then we just got on well with them from there. Took them out for the evening. It's like the nicest like bar restaurant we could find. Again, we're just like living it up. Like obviously for us, it's like the money's still expensive. In terms of, we went to like one of the best restaurants there, and it was like normal UK prices. But for them, they're like, bro, like this is fucking crazy. Like, we're like, bro, order whatever you want on the menu. We've got like bottles of wine flowing, like with me, Tom, and the chat managers, and like steaks flowing, and like whatever they wanted, desserts, whatever. And they're like sending pictures to their mom. They're like, wow, this is crazy, and it was the best experience ever. Like to take them out there and give that back to them for everything they've done for us.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of times they're online, the way they're so sick online, the amount of performance that they give for us, in comparative to what they're paid, is pretty absurd. But again, the money I pay them is very much above the basic level of what they would earn in the Philippines anyway. So like our chat manager on like $6 an hour, about to go up to $7, and like for anyone else, it's like, oh, what the fuck is that? Bro, that's like 3-4 times the average wage in the Philippines. So they want like 100k a month in the Philippines. I remember my chat manager sent me a thing about his bank locking because he was on 100k Filipino pesos a month. And I'm like, my manager's on 100k a month. Like everyone needs to keep up.
How many other people in the space do you think have gone out to actually meet their chat managers?
They haven't, and that's what the big thing about us losing this content was. The fact that I know one other person who's done it. He had a few videos, but the fact was that when this was coming out, this was going to be very big for us. It was going to put us out there. As like, again, we've got a little bit of the footage, but this was about to go crazy. Again, so imagine we're leaving the Philippines, right? So this is the actual story. So we've had an amazing time with them. We've been boozing. We took them out on speedboats, cliff jumping, blah blah. Like just fucking around, like just showing them a good time and just like picking up all the tabs. And we get to the airport. And we're about to leave. They're like, all right, we're going to Dubai. They're like, okay, well, are you staying in Dubai? Do you live in Dubai? I'm like, yeah, we live in Dubai. They're like, all right, well, where's your ticket from Dubai to the UK? And we're like, bro, what are you talking about? Like some Filipino girl trying to talk to me about where's your ticket from Dubai. I'm like, I don't live that way. I booked this flight this morning to come back to Dubai. I don't know what I'm doing next. I don't know if I'm going to stay there for 3 weeks or 2 weeks or 1 week, right? So she's like, all right, well, you need a ticket to Dubai. My flight leaves in 10 minutes. And I'm like, fuck. I'm there on Filipino hotspot from like some random Filipino behind me. I'm like trying to book a ticket. Nothing's loading. And basically, you had to have a ticket.
Wait, so she said that you needed a ticket to go from Dubai to the UK to go to Dubai?
Yep.
Dubai to... Oh, right.
So you couldn't just buy a one-way ticket to Dubai without any other, like...
It wasn't working. No, so me and Tom are there. 10 minutes before the flight leaves, we're looking at each other like, bro, what the fuck do we do? And the way we was running our banks at that time, he had money in like certain other bank accounts. I had money in like other bank accounts as well. So I had like enough money in one bank account, but had to transfer it to one of his main bank accounts that he had on his phone. So he had me doing it through Apple Pay and shit. And it wasn't like I'm sitting at a laptop chilling, cooling, to book my flight. Bro, I'm on my phone,
under time.
on hotspot. I've got 10 minutes. Bro, I kid you not. This is where I was so thankful for having money. I booked a flight back to the UK for like the following week, like some random, because I could have changed it down the line. And then we booked it at like 10:39, and we had up until 40 to book it. We showed them, they chucked our bags on, and we were like the last on the plane. And I was like,
I'll just start again.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's fine. Keep going.
And that was another point of where we was like just so thankful for having money and being able to like do what we do. Because again, there it was just like, it could have been.
When was the next flight to Dubai after that? Would it have been time?
Wait, from
the Philippines?
Oh yeah, probably been like next day or some shit maybe.
Yeah.
So a lot of Filipinos go to Dubai because of they work there. Like Dubai, this is another thing what I say about Dubai is they're very clever. They insource the Filipinos. You know, I talk about outsourcing. They insource them. They bring them over and get them to work in their restaurants and probably pay them fuck all still. But they get them over there and bring them there. So a lot of like people actually travel over there from the Philippines.
Yeah. What's the cost of living like in Dubai? Like when you were there, was it more or less expensive than Manchester? Less expensive than Manchester?
Yeah, because you were saying this to me on the call a couple of weeks ago.
Bro, it's not that expensive to live in Dubai. Like, compare for me to live in Manchester, right? It's probably the exact same if I was to run it how I am now.
Yeah.
In terms of living. When you're just living a normal life, okay, you pay for your apartment, 2-3k. You pay for then your food. And your food in Dubai is a lot cheaper because I would order like twice a day.
Yeah.
But you've got access to healthy food for like 10 to 20 pounds a day. And when you're not just maybe making like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, 30k a month, or even like 50 to 100k a month. Your time in cooking and going shopping is not really worth much more to you than just ordering. But even if I'm here, like I said there before, like the price of Nando's has gone up.
Yeah,
it's
what
mad.
The fuck's happened
Honestly,
there?
it's actually
I've
mad.
ordered Nando's for myself, like £35. I can't do that twice. Well, I can do that twice a day, but like I don't want to. Like you want to be ordering like healthy food, and I think when you're also in different spaces, so when you're in Dubai, maybe it was like almost similar price. I'm not factoring going out and stuff, but you're not really going out as much. When you're going out to meet an entrepreneur, maybe if you're flexing and doing whatever, maybe you're getting a yacht and some cars. You're not doing that every day.
Yeah.
Maybe once on an off cuff. Like if you're new to Dubai, you're intrigued by that. But I've been there so much, and like when you get to living there, it's like how you would live in the UK. You do the same shit out there that you would here. But maybe your routine's slightly different. Maybe you're eating slightly different. But overall, you're not like spending a lot more money.
It's true, because even if you look at everyone who's living in Mani making decent dough, they'll still go out on a weekend, bottle shows, all that stuff, and
you get dragged into the lifestyle. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's me. When I was living back here, I was spending more money here than I was out there.
Yeah,
because like you meet up with friends and you do these little random things because you've got a lot more. It's a different type of network here than you have out there.
Yeah.
Again, like even with Tom being out there now, there's not many people out there now, so he's very locked in. There's not much else to do other than work. Again, with me here, like again,
especially during summer, I can imagine in Dubai, most people have gone home because of the heat.
Exactly that, and so it's like a level of discipline as well that you kind of pick up and utilise.
Would you say there's kind of a preference for you then, Dubai or Mani? Which one? Because obviously I'm sure both have pros and cons, and I know you rate Dubai, but what would you say in terms of like between both?
Yeah, then it'd definitely be Dubai. But my thing, like I've kind of realised from coming back here for this summer, would probably be I'm going to do both. I'll just do like Dubai winter and then maybe Mani summer.
Yeah.
That's what I probably think I'll do going forward. At the minute, again, my plans always change. Maybe I move to Switzerland next month. I don't know. Like anything can happen at this point in life. Like I've got to keep my options open. But again, that's probably what I'm thinking more for going forward because it kind of just makes sense.
Yeah.
But again, like play it by ear. For now, it's working out, and that really makes sense for me, which is kind of the game plan. Yeah. And then for after that, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
You know, speaking of countries, I know you mentioned going to Romania before, and something about getting some models or something from over there.
Yeah. So. Of course. So. Again, like a lot of people in the OF space have talked about the Romanian sort of tape, right, and all this kind of thing that goes on with him. I've been there a few times. I've been to a couple of events there with his friends and stuff like that, and other like kind of influencers in this space for the OFM world. And it's again going to networking events to try and better yourself or get known in this space, so that when you go and speak to people, there's a good transfer of information. And again, this is where we learn about a lot of the Instagram real stuff. Was going to an event and some guy said he was crushing it with it. A couple other guys said it, and we never took it serious until a couple months later. Whereas if we imagine we took action on that information that we learned that day, it'd be 2 months ahead.
Is it not the same as like, so for example, do you know, with most people who post content, if they make a short form, they'll post it on YouTube Shorts, TikTok and Instagram. Weren't you doing that with the models if you were making them TikTok videos? It doesn't work like that.
Nah, and I think you'll find as well yourself if you've posted the same content across all of them, it doesn't perform as well on all of them. Take for example Hormozy. He has the same content and posts it on all of them, but it's edited differently. It's more digestible for that platform. We're not at that level yet where it's like you can make a piece of content digestible. And plus, if you're running a lot of organic, you want to make it specific to that platform, and it's okay, which platform do you want to double down on to achieve the best results? Right, so I land in Romania, I get a text from like, whatever, +4, blah, whatever it is, number, and he goes, "Hi bro, I'm the one in the Rolls Royce." Me and Tom look at each other like, fucking nice, like, this is sick. What a sick company we've gone with. Yeah, he's like, haha bro, just joking, I'm in the Skoda behind you. Some little guy going, like this to me, I'm thinking, fuck. Get in his car, and he's like, it's just immediately backed out a pack of cigarettes. And Tom's like, "Oh, you smoke?" He's like, yeah, we can smoke. Giving each other cigarettes, just smoking cigarettes on the way back to the hotel now. We're talking about different things.
Smoking darts in this dude's Skoda.
Literally, bro. And now we're like, what kind of driver is this? And he's bare funny guys playing like blaring Romanian music, just being a menace on the motorway. Anyway, we're flying it down the motorway, get to our hotel, we're staying at JW. JW, beautiful hotel in Romania. Beautiful casino underneath. You always lose your money, but it's the funniest thing ever. Gone there a few times with the boys and just absolutely brocked it. Anyway, the guy picks us up in the morning. He's like, "Right, be ready for 7 a.m. in the morning." We're like, "All right, calm." So anyway, me and Tom get to the hotel. We're like, "All right, calm." We packed off a bit of work, and then it was like 10, 11 p.m. We're like, "All right, we should go and have a look at the casino." Get into the casino, both like drop a monkey or whatever. Anyway, it gets to like 3, 4 a.m. I'm like, "Bro, I'm tapping out." I'm down at this point. I'm like, "Fuck this, I need to sleep." Tom's like, "All right, I'll be up in an hour." Fucking, I go up to the room, fall asleep. He gets to like 4, 5, 6 a.m. This guy's picking us up in an hour. Tom finally rolls around the room and he's just like, "Fuck the casino." I woke up out of my slumber like, what the fuck? Anyway, he gets his head down. Anyway, I've got this guy. Anyway, I answer the phone in the morning. I'm going to get onto the story first, but the whole story's funny. Guy's calling up my phone like, "Yo, where are you? I'm outside. I look at my phone, we're like 10 minutes late. I'm like, "All right, I'm coming. So anyway, me and Tom chuck some clothes on. We get downstairs. Get out there. He's like, "Bro, I told you, be here at 7 a.m. Like, all right, whatever. Anyway, so we're driving around like, "Bro, can we get coffee on the way to the office?" Like, "Yeah, calm." Get to the coffee shop, get some coffee, go over to the office. We get to the office, we look at his phone and he's like, we're like, "All right, so where do we go? Do we go upstairs?" He's like, "All right, wait 1 minute, I'll call the boss." He calls the boss. The boss is like, I just woke up myself. I said to you to be here at 9 a.m, not 7 a.m.
Oh.
Bro, the guy he's like, oh, guys, I'm so sorry. And we're like, for fuck's sake. So anyway, we're sitting there, and this is when me and Tom's like, Tom's in the front, I'm in the back. And I'm sitting there looking at this guy, and he's like, so what are you guys doing here for business? We're like, we do OFM, like, OnlyFans management, like, we do a lot of things. Like, you manage. I was with this girl last night, look. And bro, this guy backs out his Facebook, like, his Facebook profile, right? And this is when I learned about running the fucking numbers. It's 8 a.m. in the morning. I've just had half of my coffee. I'm dead asleep in the passenger. I look over at this guy, and he's like, his phone's on the holder,
on the stand.
right? There's girls going through his thing, like all the stories, right? He's just triple tap liking them, swiping on to the next. And if she's laying, he's giving like 8 likes, right? And he's like messaging things from like 8 a.m. Bro, he's doing this for half an hour while we're waiting. And he's running.
What was he doing there? Was he doing OFM?
No. He's just a taxi driver. He's just a pest. But he was just running the fucking numbers.
Right? So he was just trying to get...
on Facebook as well?
Yeah, on Facebook fucking, thing. So he's going through all these girls. I'm like, this is when me and Tom looking at each other. It's like 8 a.m. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And now he's like, I'm like, bro, and I explained to him, like, gee, if you can get some models to our agency, we can give you a percentage referral fee. He makes $300 a week in taxi driving.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, calm, like, let. So anyway, I get back to Manchester, like, he's done all our stuff with us. He's still running numbers insanely. This is when I learned about, like, okay, you might think you run numbers. There's guys out there who are running fucking numbers on a random Wednesday at 8 a.m. on a girl's account, right? That's who you're competing with nowadays. So anyway, we get back to the apartment, I get back to Manchester, and he calls me, he's like, bro, like, I've got a model for you. I'm like, sick. Bro, look at this model, she's laying, she's ready to go, and she wants to jump on just salary, she just wants like a flat pay. So like, sick. Go ahead and start with her, end up running her up to like fucking 5 figures a month, and then always happy days. But it's just like, you can recruit from anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? If you just talk about what you do, if you say what you do, and don't be like nervous at the start, because like when I started out, I used to not want people to know what I do. The more I spoke about it, the more money I made. Like when I moved to Manchester, Deansgate, I didn't really speak about it to start with. Again, got in touch with the Morley boys, started speaking about what it is that I do, and they're like, oh shit, you can go speak to her, go speak to him. Right? And from there, like the network just expands. And
there's quite a few OFM dudes in Deansgate, isn't there?
Now there is, yeah. Now there's a lot of them. I don't think there was many before we come on board. A lot of people moved there, I think, from after we come. And it's become a little bit of a hub for it. Still people keep themselves to themselves, I think, to an extent, and then obviously we've sort of grown it from there and kept it.
I think a lot of people probably keep it for themselves, or it's not too obvious what they do from, like, for example, their personal Instagram.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily need to have a personal brand if you're just running an OFM agency.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't need it at all.
Yeah, you don't need
like,
it.
Again, for like mine was rubbish for like a very long time. Very average. Again, like I'm still sitting on a bunch of media now, which I just have never put out because I've always just sat on it. I never really liked to go through it and put it out. But again, you don't have to have like a huge personal brand to make it this space. Like some people are teaching their courses. Unfortunately.
I think I've realised that as well with a few people, like since we've been doing the pod and that I had no idea we're doing it before, and they've got all this stuff going on but they just don't mention it. Or, like even a couple of like, I'm not gonna say who and that, but like some fitness guys and stuff as well that I had no idea that was probably one of their main sources of dough as well.
That's what I'm saying.
So obviously we asked you where you thought you were going to be next back in December, and it was keep running up the agency, get to 6 figures a month. Tom said he wanted to be a liquid millionaire by this time next year, so he's obviously got another 6 months to do it. But what's next for you? I mean, you're back in Manchester for a couple months, done your kind of like grind in Dubai.
It's the exact same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen the grind in Manchester. I would say, like, again, like, the goals always move. And I think the goals from us now have gone from monetary goals. Because obviously, I think when you're starting out, you're very focused on the cash. And I think you should be, because money makes the fucking world go round, in my opinion. If you don't have money, then, like, you don't really have access to much more in life. Like, maybe you've got your personality and a few friends. But if you want to get to the next levels and experience the next level of life, you do need money to do so.
Yeah.
And money buys open opportunity to doors that then you can use your network to open doors for later down the line. So again, running up cash as always. And then again, the second thing for us now is what's become more valuable to me is my time. So from running up a lot of money, I've understood that I was very in the business rather than working on the business. And although we've built out an amazing team, it's building out that a little bit more so that the scalability can be automated. Because you can have the processes automated to do this, but if you want to try to do this, I want to try to automate them processes, which is a little bit different, which is playing the game on like a high level. So again, buying my time back, leveraging my time and money that I have now a lot more in order so that I have that back to myself. Because again, what's all this money in this world if you can't do nothing with it?
Yeah.
And especially if you go to I don't know, go to fly your family out or do X, Y, Z, but you're stressed about what's going on online, it takes away the fun of it. So kind of transferring from that.
I was going to say, is there any kind of like personal, away from business, anything personal that you want to do? Maybe family-wise, fitness, health, anything like that?
I mean, like, I feel like, again, like, I never really set concrete stuff, but in terms of nonchalant goals, it's like at the end of the year, I'll probably fly all my family to, like, I'll probably do it in 2 stages. I'll probably fly all my family to Dubai, probably my dad and granddad first, and then maybe my mum and sister after. And then I want to be a millionaire by my next birthday as well, like, again, liquid millionaire, and I think crypto is going to help a massive bunch with that. So if people are obviously making a lot of good cash now, good time to invest in markets, stuff like that. Don't be scared. Scared money makes no money. Another thing as well, when I was starting out in business, a very quick story is I used to put all of my money that I made from Tesco, 1k a month, into crypto, ran it up to 12k, and then I got fished for everything. So I lost everything and went back to zero before I'd even made a penny in business. So you can really go back to zero. You can start from anywhere you are in life, and if you have big losses, persist through them, and then again, you might go on to do something even bigger. If you get affected by the loss, then guess what? I guess you're not built for this life, realistically. But yeah, still always running up the agency, running up the coaching as well. Like, it's not just like running up the coaching for us, it's because we have a quality group. It's running up the results of other people, helping a lot of other people out who are struggling in the space, who are maybe getting scammed by these chartered educators, who are maybe not doing so well because they bought into that sales team and, I don't know, they're not achieving what they want to achieve. Giving back to people in that realm. And then, yeah, they're the real 2 focuses. After that is, again, buying a lot of my time back, leveraging where I can, so learning a lot of new business skills in that realm in order to scale things up and yeah, keep persisting through.
Where can people find you?
So people can find me on Twitter at Mr. Money Mace, Instagram Mason100, that's double N Mason100, YouTube Mr. Money Mace, and they're the best 3 places to get at me. I mean, if you want to access my private Telegram group chat, then of course, go through any one of them funnels, find the comment section, and you'll see where you can find my Telegram channel where I drop daily game, motivation, OFM, business, and of course some personality, which you've probably seen through this podcast, which, again, my daily life's a bit random, so you'll see some funny stuff going on. You can go ahead and message me for some further details about OF Money and the private group that we run, the full course that entails as well, and how you can go ahead and scale up your OFM from 0 all the way up to 100k a month. Just so long as you want to put the work in, you can make it happen. Even if you're an existing agency owner and you want to go from 5, 10k a month, all the way up to 30, 50k a month, and you're just struggling with them, simple nuances that you want to implement to your agency in order to get them results, you can go ahead and message me, and I'm sure we'll be able to accommodate for yourself as well.
Cool. I know that we've done a little bit of work together, and I just wanted to say for everyone watching, you truly do embody in business everything that you talk about. Like, I've never seen a WhatsApp message send and 2 blue ticks pop up quicker with any other person who I've ever worked with. So look, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. You're an absolute beast, mate.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for coming back on. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me, and always for you guys as well. You've got to keep running things up. You're onto a good thing here, and it's a pleasure to be a part of it and so we can take it to the next level.
Cool.
Cool, man.
Wish you all the best, bro.
You too, my brother.